When engaging in a construction contract, the entity ultimately responsible for payment is the party that signs the contract with you. It is vital to perform due diligence on the company awarding the contract before signing anything. Firstly, check their business registration and license status. Secondly, look for online reviews and testimonials from previous contractors. Thirdly, ask for references from other contractors who have worked with them. Carefully review the contract terms, paying close attention to the payment schedule, which should outline when and how you will be paid. Ensure that the contract includes provisions that protect your right to file a lien on the property if you are not paid. Define the process for requesting and approving changes to the scope of work, as well as how these changes will be compensated. Make sure the contract clearly defines the scope of work that you are responsible for completing. It is advisable to consult with an attorney to review the contract before signing it. An attorney can help you understand your legal rights and obligations, as well as negotiate any necessary changes to the contract. When working on an out-of-state contract, there are additional risks to consider. Ensure that you have any necessary licenses or certifications required by the state where the project is located. Be aware of the tax laws and reporting requirements for the state where the project is located. In case of disputes, the contract may specify which state's laws will govern. Maintain regular communication with the company to ensure that the project is progressing smoothly. Document your work thoroughly with photographs, receipts, and progress reports. Be cautious about accepting any verbal changes or modifications to the contract without formal documentation. Focusing on electrical work, particularly lighting, there are several considerations to keep in mind. Firstly, ensure that all lighting installations comply with the National Electrical Code, or NEC, and any local electrical codes. This includes using the correct wiring gauge, proper overcurrent protection, and appropriate grounding techniques. Secondly, verify that all lighting fixtures are listed by a recognized testing laboratory, such as Underwriters Laboratories, or all, to ensure they meet safety standards. Thirdly, determine the correct voltage for the lighting system. Standard voltages in commercial buildings include 120 volts, 208 volts, 277 volts, and 480 volts. The voltage must match the specifications of the lighting fixtures. Calculate the total load of the lighting system to determine the appropriate size of the circuit breakers and conductors. Use NEC tables, such as Table 310.15, B16, to determine the ampacity of conductors based on their size and insulation type. Ensure that the circuit breaker is sized no larger than the ampacity of the conductors. When running conduit for the electrical wiring, use the correct size and type of conduit for the application. Electrical metallic tubing, or IMT, is commonly used for indoor installations, while rigid metal conduit, or RMC, is used for outdoor or underground installations. Follow NEC guidelines for conduit fill to prevent overheating of the conductors. Proper grounding is essential for electrical safety. Ground all metal enclosures, such as lighting fixtures and junction boxes, to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source. Use a grounding electrode conductor of the correct size to connect the grounding system to the building's grounding electrode system. When installing lighting controls, such as dimmers and occupancy sensors, ensure that they are compatible with the lighting fixtures and that they are installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. For LED lighting, use dimmers that are specifically designed for LED fixtures to prevent flickering or other problems. When working with low-voltage lighting systems, such as those used for landscape lighting or accent lighting, use a low-voltage transformer to step down the voltage from 120 volts to the required voltage, typically 12 volts or 24 volts. Ensure that the low-voltage wiring is installed in accordance with NEC guidelines, including using the correct wire size and providing overcurrent protection. When installing lighting in hazardous locations, such as areas with flammable materials or explosive atmospheres, use lighting fixtures that are specifically designed for those locations. These fixtures are designed to contain any sparks or explosions that may occur inside the fixture. Always disconnect power to the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized. Follow lockout-tagout procedures to prevent accidental re-energization of the circuit. When splicing wires, use the correct type of wire connectors for the application. Wire nuts are commonly used for splicing wires in junction boxes, while crimp connectors are used for splicing wires in conduit. Ensure that the wire connectors are properly sized for a wire gauge and that they are installed according to the manufacturer's instructions. When installing recessed lighting fixtures, ensure that they are installed with the proper clearance from combustible materials. Recessed lighting fixtures can generate a significant amount of heat, which can pose a fire hazard if they are not installed properly. Follow the manufacturer's instructions and NEC guidelines for installing recessed lighting fixtures. When working with existing electrical systems, be aware of the potential for asbestos-containing materials. Asbestos was commonly used in older electrical equipment, such as wiring, insulation, and panelboard components. If you suspect that asbestos-containing materials are present, take appropriate precautions to protect yourself from exposure. Consider local regulations and codes that could require permits and inspections from state to local government. Understand the cost of labor and materials in an unfamiliar location. Consult local suppliers and contractors to get an accurate estimate of the cost of materials and labor. Factor in travel expenses, lodging, and per diem for your workers. Also, consider the cost of shipping materials to the job site. Determine if the project requires any specialized equipment or tools that you do not currently own. Rent or purchase the necessary equipment and tools. Ensure that your workers are properly trained and certified to use the equipment. Develop a comprehensive safety plan that addresses the specific hazards of the project. Ensure that all workers are familiar with the safety plan and that they follow it at all times. Conduct regular safety meetings to discuss safety issues and to reinforce safe work practices. Ensure you have appropriate insurance coverage, including general liability insurance, workers' compensation insurance, and auto insurance. Review your insurance policies to ensure that they provide adequate coverage for the project. Obtain additional insurance coverage if necessary. Establish a clear communication plan with the company. Communicate regularly with the company to keep them informed of the project's progress and to address any issues that may arise. Respond promptly to the company's inquiries and requests. Keep detailed records of all project-related activities, including contracts, invoices, payments, and change orders. Use a project management software to track project costs, schedules, and resources. Back up your records regularly to prevent data loss. Be prepared to resolve disputes with the company. If a dispute arises, attempt to resolve it through negotiation or mediation. If negotiation and mediation fail, consider filing a lawsuit or arbitration claim. Familiarize yourself with the state's laws regarding construction liens and payment bonds. A construction lien is a legal claim against a property that secures payment for labor or materials supplied to improve the property. A payment bond is a surety bond that guarantees payment to subcontractors and suppliers on a construction project. If you are not paid for your work, you may be able to file a construction lien or make a claim against a payment bond. Consult with an attorney to determine your rights and remedies. Managing the financial aspects of a construction project is crucial for ensuring profitability and avoiding financial risks. Firstly, create a detailed budget that includes all project costs such as labor, materials, equipment, permits, and insurance. Use historical data and industry benchmarks to estimate costs accurately. Secondly, track project costs regularly to identify any variances from the budget. Compare actual costs to budgeted costs and investigate any significant discrepancies. Take corrective action to address cost overruns. Thirdly, manage cash flow effectively to ensure that you have sufficient funds to cover project expenses. Forecast cash inflows and outflows to identify potential cash shortages. Arrange for financing if necessary. Submit invoices promptly and follow up on overdue payments. Fourthly, negotiate favorable payment terms with the company. Request progress payments as the project progresses. Retainage. which is a percentage of the contract price that is withheld until the project is completed, should be kept to a minimum. Fifthly, manage change orders carefully to avoid disputes and cost overruns. Obtain written approval for all change orders before proceeding with the work. Document all change order costs and include them in your invoices. Consider using project management software to streamline the change order process. Sixthly, monitor the company's financial stability to assess the risk of non-payment. Review the company's financial statements and credit reports. If you have concerns about the company's financial stability, consider requesting a payment bond or obtaining a letter of credit. Seventhly, protect your lien rights by filing a preliminary notice of lien within the required time frame. A preliminary notice of lien is a written notice to the property owner and other parties that you are providing labor or materials to the project and that you may have the right to file a lien if you are not paid. Eighthly, file a construction lien if you are not paid for your work. A construction lien must be filed within a specific time frame after the work is completed. Ninthly, enforce your lien rights by filing a lawsuit to foreclose on the lien. A lawsuit to foreclose on a lien must be filed within a specific time frame after the lien is filed. Tenthly, consider alternative dispute resolution methods such as mediation or arbitration to resolve payment disputes. Mediation and arbitration can be less expensive and time-consuming than litigation. Consider getting professional help in legal and accounting.